Welcome back to Brizzle Koi. I haven't done an update for I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm sitting there with the boy, Madsy Padsy, Maddox Dougie Owen. Thought we'd do a little update, spin you around. There's the pond. We've got a few new additions. Struggling with the missus on the pergola side of things. She's not having it, so I've got the patio set umbrella there. I'm hoping she'll get annoyed with me using it for the pond, not the table, and let me have the pergola I want. It's work in progress. We'll see. We're getting there. We got a cheeky beer on the go. Go have a beer. I'm trying to think now what else I've been up to. All the plants are looking really good. My last video, they've trebled in size. Oh yeah, look at that. Ace is doing good. Some strawberries. Lovely jubbly. We've got some new additions.
I really like thank you.
Deutsch shower. They've all run off now. Swam off. I'll turn it off in a minute. A new, what's it called? What's that one called? Shiro. Look, Madsy knows the names. Hiatsuri. Benny Kikakuri. We got a little comet as well. So a guy got in contact with me, Graham, and I took a few of his fish, but on one condition. The comet came with me. What's the comet's name?
Survivor?
Survivor, yeah. He's been in a few ponds. He's survived a few ponds, so that was the deal. And I think he thinks he's a koi, to be honest. Kohaku. Hiatsuri. Madsy calls him a tiger fish. They're all doing really well. I don't think they're show quality koi, but we love them. You know, they've all got their little characters. Fatty. They're cool. Oh, a little Goshki. Oh, he just went out of frame. Big Phil. Oh, here's Maver. Watch out, Mads. You're just like right in the way there. Oh, there's Big Phil. Big Phil, the greedy one. He's straight up for food straight away. He's the first one. He's doing really well. He had a bit of, is it called, what do they call it? Cart pox, is it? I thought there was something wrong with his fin, and I got all panicky, and I spoke to a mate, and he was like, leave it a week before you do any testing. And yeah, literally a week later it cleared up. I was a bit worried. My little Jinrin Shiro, and he's gone. The temp's up to 19.5 now, and feeding them, I don't know whether I'm feeding them enough or too much, but my water parameters are spot on. My pH is high, 8.5, but stable. It's always been 8.5, or in between 8 and 8.5. My ammonia is 0, nitrate 0, and then nitrite 0, and nitrates sit around 5.10, and I'm feeding, yeah, so 50-50 mix of Saki Akari growth and Takazumi mix, which I think is a mix of colour and something else, I can't remember, I'll show you in a minute. But I'm pretty much giving them half to 3/4 of one of them a day, probably half, to be honest. like maybe 3 or 4 times a day. I just, every time I walk past the pond, I just chuck them a little bit, to be honest. It's not set times or anything. Sometimes it could be only twice a day, but sometimes it could be 5 times a day. But they seem to devour whatever I throw in within a few minutes. So that's alright. I really could do it. Look at that sun, it's all over there all day, so without a cover I'm never going to have the crystal clear water. This is doing it for now. Yeah, these are Maltese strawberries. Can't wait for them, can you? My little fern is back. I thought I'd killed it, but it popped out. Happy days. Let's put a stop to my new filter house, because I thought if I'd killed that I was definitely having a new filter house. But it's back and it looks good, so it's staying for now. And my filter's working so well, and I don't feel the need to tinker, and something's working, why mess with it, kind of thing. Well, I know in future years I'll probably want to mess with it. For now, it's really working really well. So we've got these 2 logs here, we're holding the net down where the Asagi jumped out. I want to get some pots there, really, something in. Got the barbie out yesterday. Some smash burgers on the go. There's another addition, a little tinker. So I did have the blade, which is fed from the skimmer, and the air, which controlled the air in the pond and the air in the moving bed, off 2 timers. I initially didn't want them going all day and all night, and I was gonna have them a few hours on, a few hours off, a few hours on, a few hours off, but I decided that it was off for a couple of hours one day while I was here, and the fish started jumping, and I was like, now the weather's warming up, maybe they need that air in the pond all the time. So I was just, when I wanted to feed, I put them on permanently, but when I wanted to feed I was walking down there and round into the shed, unplugging the air and coming up here, and it was getting on my nerves, so I put in 2 switches to control the air and the waterfall. So when I want to feed now, shut them both off, chuck the food in, I'll sit down, watch the fish, and 5-10 minutes later bang it back on. Happy days. And that means that that moving bed is getting air all the time, which is good, because I don't think it was beneficial to turn it off and on. It's just finding how it worked for me, really, and I think I found it now. I'm really happy with it. They're getting air 24 hours a day. The skimmer's going 24 hours a day. It's 55 watt running all day. I've got a little smart meter, and it's not too bad, I think the pond's probably running at between 80p and £1 a day, maybe. That's not too bad. That's pretty good, actually, isn't it? I've had a bit of a clean out in the shed, so I'll probably take you in there. Still will do a video of my filter clean one day. I'm doing a filter clean so I've come to realise now that these barrels are full of K+, which is what they provide in the Tempest. So basically I've got 2 Tempests and a moving bed, so they do clog up. Well, at the moment I'm doing it twice a week, and it's pretty dirty on that. Not dirty, but so I got another question. Oh, it's alright. So as it gets dirty, it obviously raises up, and some of the water is obviously is escaping before it goes through the media. I see a lot of YouTubers, or I say some, they manage to get a net or mesh or stainless steel, something to hold this down so the water goes all the way through it, if that makes sense. But because I got these 150 litre barrels. If you look from the side, we've got this curve, so I can't, you know, I made a circle out of this pipe, covered it in mesh, cable tied it all the way around. I obviously couldn't fit it in there, so like straight, because of that. It would have let the media through the outside. So I made it a bit bigger and tried to like crush it in, but it just didn't work. So I'm trying to think of something I can like put in there and then expand. Oh, I've had all sorts of mad ideas in my head, but I haven't really pulled the trigger on experimenting with anything yet. If anybody's got any ideas. But at the same time, I'm really happy with how clean the pond is. So by putting something in there and forcing the water to go through everything, am I then forcing myself to clean the filter like a tempest every 2 days? At least this way, it lifts up, and if it does get too dirty, the water, you know, it's lifted the water up, so lifted the media up so the water can trickle down. Oh, I don't know, I hope you all think I'm making sense, but it's going through my head at the moment with that. That's the second one. I did this last night. Not really that dirty yet. But yeah, within, I'd say 3 days, it's visibly really dirty, you know, 3 or 4 days. Got to do it twice a week now. I was hoping to only do it once a week, but I suppose I'm feeding a bit. And there is 10 fish in there. So, it's the moving bed. It's started to tea colour a little bit. Definitely, probably can't see it on there, but to the eye it's definitely going tea colour down. And I'm testing once a week now. When I added those 4 or 5 fish 3 weeks ago, I tested a few times that week after, held back on the feeding. All the test results are alright. I was going to put another pond bomb in, but the results were coming back good, so I thought, why? Not really any point, is there? Wasting money. If test results are good, then doing its thing. I've had some dramas. Oh yeah, here's the new put these 2 sockets in. So I did have them on those 2 timers plugged into there, moving bed and air pump. Put 2 sockets in there, run the cable for the switch on the corner there. That also allows me to, so the switch controls the air pump and the blade via the skimmer. It also allows me to isolate them in here if I mess around in here, and it also allows me to put one of those plug-in timers back in. So if I go on holiday, I can put the plug-in timers in, set up my auto fish feeder, happy days. So yeah, it's worked really well at us, really well. Everything's alright in here. To cleaning it's such a doddle. Such a doddle. I literally switch those 2 off. I wait for the water to drop in that a bit. I've got this non-return valve here, so the water drops to there and to there, and then I switch the air over and boil it for 5 minutes, and then dump it out. Turn that little pump on. Goes out into the stones outside and drains away nicely. I do feel like I'm wasting a bit of water there. I'd like to put that water on the lawn, but I keep playing around with the idea of having a 200 litre water butt outside there and feeding that pump into the butt, and then buying one of those dirty water pumps and putting a normal hose pipe on there so I can switch it on and spray the garden. I think the grass would love that. I've been saving, whenever I've done a filter clean, I've gone out with the watering can. As soon as I switch it on, fill the watering can up and water all the plants, and they're just growing like mad. So it's got to be good, in it, all that fish muck in it. This is this mix. What is it? Mix, colour and growth. That's what I fed them on. It says 10 degrees on there, so when I started putting fish in, it was about 11, 12 degrees, so I started feeding on that. And now it's up to like 19. I've been chucking a little bit of sake growth in. I don't want massive fish, and I don't want to put loads of strain on my filter system. I know I started off wanting a water feature, so I'm not up for just growing massive fish. I just really enjoy them actually. I feel like they're all like reject fish, because I've only bought 3 of them, and the other 7 have been passed to me, but I really like them all. I feel like they've all got a little character. Yeah, I'm just happy to watch them grow. Not much more to say in here. Don't go in well. Yeah. I had another little project on the go, keeping me busy the last week or two. I needed something to sit on to watch my fish. So I was like, I was scrolling through Facebook and found this set of cast iron bench ends. I was like, yeah, pulled the trigger, picked them up, 20 quid, rubbed them down, give them a coat of paint, coat of this kicking round Amorite direct to metal rust paint. What's it called? Metal paint, direct to rust. There was no rust on them, they were in quite good nick. They did need about half an hour's worth of rubbing down each, but give them a coat of black paint. I'm going to snip a bit of that, because I did do a little bit of filming. Probably not going to be great. I did do a little bit of filming, so I'll snip it in here now. And yeah, I got the bench ends and I painted them, and then I went to this place. I'll give them a shout out because it's pretty cool. It's called Bristol Wood Recycling Project. It's down by Temple Meads. It's like just a warehouse full of random bits of wood, all individually priced. I found this massive chunky piece of oak. I thought, I'm having it. It was a bit pricey, but the bench ends look really good after the lick of paint, so I thought, hardwood, outside, oak, let's do it. So I've got a table saw as well, so I bought when I was fitting the kitchen in the house to do something, so I was like, well, I'll make the most of that. So I got this one plank of wood, chopped it all down, bought some stainless steel bolts and nylock nuts, cut them all down, put it all together. Oh my god, I'm really happy with it, and it's positioned in front of the pond window, perfect, love it. I'll chop a bit of the making process in here now. So here's the piece of oak I've picked up, a really nice piece. Staining on it, but I'm sure that'll come off. Just chop it up into slats. Hopefully, should be good. Another thing, I just want to show you this Acer. I think it's an Acer anyway. Look at that one in the front garden. It's huge. Don't know if it's an Acer, but looks like one to me. What do you think? Try and get a better picture of it. Look at that. Stunning. The leaves have just come on it. Right, back to this piece of wood. these nice stainless steel bolts and some nylock nuts. Just putting them all in place for now. Look at that. Hello. Spot on that is, isn't it? In the view, straight at the pond with the beer. Oh, cheers, guys. Right on cue, no fish. Oh, Graham was the name of the guy that gave me that Shiro and that shower. Big shout out to Graham. Went down to meet him. I was there for about 2 hours. Lovely guy. Took Maddox with me. We had a great chat. He never actually netted a fish out of his pond before either. So that was he never bagged a fish. So that was fun. I never netted a fish either. It went really well. Good. Yeah, let's turn this. Tell you what, I'll turn the air off, turn the cover off, and get them all up to the top for a feed. I think that's about it. That's about it. Some more news. The mug game. I've ordered some mugs. I think I'm gonna. I've ordered 7, and I've already lined up a few to give away. But I'm gonna have a couple left over, so maybe I'll do a little giveaway. But they're wicked. I think they might be the coolest mugs I've seen so far. I'd have to wait. I'm not going to get into it too much, but they're cool mugs. And that's it for this update. Another thing I did, I managed to get that 2 ton of topsoil in and level off the grass. Plant a load of seed. Still a couple of patches that need doing, but lovely jubbly. And there's the bench again. Look at that. Cast iron ends, oak slats, 2 coats of varnish. Happy days. Perfect. Sunny Bristol. Here's the boy, the boss. You right, boy? Oh, I've had a couple of dramas I nearly forgot to mention. So the first one was, I went away, I was going away for the week. So I asked my neighbour to feed the fish every day. I turned the air off for 2 hours every day while she came round. But the night before I left, I thought, right, I'll give the filters a clean. When I turned the pumps back on, I just noticed there wasn't as much water coming out of there. I was like, what's going on? Yeah. I turned the pump up a bit more. I just couldn't get any more water flowing through it. Bear in mind, when I installed that retro bottom drain, I had to turn the Evolution Aqua Vary pump up, and I thought, I must have just had to turn that up because of the restricted flow of the bottom drain. I went from 51 watts up to like 70 watts. So yeah, once I did the filter clean, I had it up to like 80, 90 watts, and the flow was like half of what it normally is. It's like, maybe I need to clean my Vary pump. So I pulled it out, and lo and behold, found about 6 cable ties stuck in the pump. I must have knocked them in when I was messing about doing that bottom drain. I had the cable tying the power cable down the pipe, and I cut them off, and I remember putting them in a pile, but I must have knocked them off. They were all stuck in the pump. Got them out. I was like, I was lucky. The impeller is immaculate, and I don't know how, because thinking about it, they must have been in there for weeks. I suppose it's good that the bottom drain's actually the retro bottom washing up bowl is doing its job. Sucked up a few cable ties, but as soon as I got them out, I had to turn the pump right back down to like 51 watts because it's working as it should, I suppose. And then the other drama was, I came home 2 days ago and I was upstairs pottering around. I could hear the dog barking, and I thought, my missus has locked him out. He's not happy about being locked out. Came down, the doors were open. Dog was barking down by there. I thought, no, fish has jumped out. They shouldn't be able to jump out because I got the net there. Anyway, I jumped up on the pond like I did when the Asagi jumped out. Ran around there, looked down the back. There's a baby fox around there. I managed to get him out. Yeah, I got him out with a stick and he ran off down there. Wasn't doing any harm, I suppose, but driving the dog nuts. I think a few gardens down, I've got them, my neighbour was saying, got a load of cubs under their shed. Yeah. But I thought a fish had jumped up. All good though. All fish are alright. Plants are doing well. Look at that, they've almost probably quadrupled in size since I took this video. I told you on my last video I kill everything, kill all the plants, but I think it's that dirty filter water I keep feeding them every time I do a filter change. It's like they're on steroids. Oh, the bench again. Right. Well happy with that. Yeah. Happy days. Alright, catch you on the next one, guys. Hopefully I'll be able to show you these sick mugs I I've had made. Tell you what, they're going to be awesome. And I'll do a little giveaway, so maybe I'll ask you a question and see if I can. Yeah, and if anybody's got any ideas about that, keeping that media down in the filter, something that can go in a small circumference and spread out afterwards. I'm not even going to go into the ideas I've had, but if anybody's got any ideas, then fire away. And again, if you're enjoying my videos, like and subscribe, because if it wasn't for them subscribes, I wouldn't carry on. But, quite enjoy seeing everybody's comments and the likes and additional people subscribing. It's really good. Happy day, guys. It's a goodbye from me. So, one issue I've got is this Kahaku. He's got some raised scales on one side. I've been monitoring it the last week or two, and it's not getting any better. So I'm wondering now whether I need to, I've been doing a little bit of research, like a little bit, probably, the internet is a minefield anyway. So I don't know whether a salt bath or a scrape. I have got a microscope, I've never used it before. So this is where I'm asking my YouTube followers for some advice, recommendations. What would you do? He's completely fine in himself, him, her, I don't know what he is, she is. But it's not getting any worse, it's not getting any better. It's definitely been like that for 3 weeks now. So I don't know whether do I leave it another week and see if these warm temperatures will boost his immune system and try and get better himself, or I don't know. That's probably my first real issue or concern. Hopefully it'll come around now and you get a better view. I've filmed him a few times in this clip, so you may have seen it, or you can look back and have a look and give me some advice. That would be really good. Yeah, but that's the only. Yeah, I'm reaching out now because I am concerned. Look at these two, Jinrin and Fatty. Look at them. It's got some orange speckles on the side. Big Phil. As he said, he only had some cart pox on his fin. It's completely gone now. Oh, just on that front fin there, it's gone. It was like a big white patch. Just turned up overnight. Like over the week it went. This is the Comet. Look how fat he is. Supposedly he's like 10 years old. He's real deep, rich red on top, orange red. And then pretty sure he feels like he's one of the other koi because he's eating the koi food. He's he's gone now. This little Deutsch Kahaku that I bought from the dealer, only one of the 3 that I've actually bought. He's a real greedy one. The way he's eating, I'm hoping he gets big. No, I'm not hoping. But my Asagi that jumped, he's doing really well. He's quite greedy as well. He's up for food. Love this Deutsch shower. He's a little bit shy when it comes to feeding, but as soon as I take a step back from the pond, he's greedy as well. I don't know if you've been able to see those raised scales in that Kahaku, but yeah, please give some advice. you know, obviously I want to do the right thing, but I also really don't want to do the wrong thing. And as I said, the old internet's a minefield, isn't it? It's got really nice blue eyes, this one. Cool. Trying to find. So old Popsy Koi, he called in and gave me 2 fish. They don't seem to be making an appearance now. One of them was a goshki, Popsy's favourite fish. Probably one of his least favourite fish, but I really like him. And this Benny Kikakuru, which I really like as well. His mouth is like pointed downwards, so when he comes up to eat, he makes loads of noise. A little character to him. I haven't seen, you know, many ponds or whatever, so I don't know whether he's a good Benny Kikakuru, but I like him. Might be the reject pond, I don't know, but I love them all, so happy days. Yeah, this Kahaku's starting to play on my mind a little bit, so any advice would be welcomed greatly. See if we can get a nice coming along here. I don't know if you can see him on the camera. Can you see? Straight halfway down. Some raised scales with a bit of redness. It's a beautiful fish though. Wow. I don't know, I see people talking about them and they, you know, they're looking for 2 and 3 step kahakus, but he's got a solid step, but to me, he's a beautiful fish. So. Well, I hope you saw that and get back to you.